What's up guys, how are you doing? My name is Raul Contreras, aka Duda, and today I will be showing you in how I created my custom mapping for the trigger finger to work right along with the Kontrol X1 from Native Instruments. So let's go ahead and let's get right to it. I'm gonna move my camera down so you guys could see my trigger finger and the X1 a little better, as a matter of fact. So first things first, I'm gonna go into my preferences, controller manager, select my trigger finger, which is everything is selected, and go to it. I like to use modifiers a lot, so I created my modifier being my shift button, doing this button. So this would be my modifier for all my deck comments, and then I also created another modifier being the button right next to it, but this one would be for all my effects unit. Let's start with all the deck comments. So you guys could see over here, pause, play, load, selected, sync on, etc. Well, actually there's modifier number 1, but what would happen if I press a modifier, I will be able to select and load a track. Let's say modifier number 1, track loaded into deck A. Modifier still on, that track loaded selected B, track loaded to C, track loaded to D. You guys could see it. Now, still pressing that same modifier, if I press this button, it will play it. If I press this button, it will play it, and it will stop it at the same time. Same thing for deck C and D. Same thing for deck C and D. If I did not press that button, what I have made it to do is to be, I have made all these buttons to be my cue points for deck C and D. You guys can see. There you go, so same thing. You know, for deck A and B, I am using the Kontrol X1. Again, I have created this to be worked with the Kontrol X1 so they work right along. If I want to set up my hotkeys for deck A and B, of course I gotta press my hotkey first, and then of course you could select it, deck A and B. One of the things that I like in my sets is sometimes I don't go with the sync button. So I have also created a custom MIDI map that will get rid of my buttons. So I go into one of my other pages of the trigger finger, and as you guys could see over here, oh, where's my mouse? There you go. You guys could see that I have all my tracks synced. Actually, this 3 synced and this one not. So I'm going to unsync them. Unsynced, 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 and the other one sync. Now I have done that by going to another page, by creating a mapping in another page of my trigger finger. So Native Instruments give you that possibility of working in different pages with the MIDI controller that you have, which is amazing. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna go sync them all, I'm gonna go to my first page, and I'm gonna continue with it. So we're gonna go into our preferences. You guys could see that my modifier number 2 was my modifier for all my effects units, which is this button right here. I have dry, wet, knob number 1, 2, and 3, and effect selector. Let me start with those. So again, for track A and B, I will use the X1. You guys can see over here, dry and wet for 1, dry and wet for 2. If I want to use, or if I want to put an effect on track C and D, or 3 and 4, what I do is that I have control these ones. So C and D. And same thing over here. The other, oh actually you guys could hear a little bit of an effect. And of course all the other ones. Same thing over here, drag A and B. And if you want to select the effect that you want in your effects unit, I have created this by pressing my shift button, and of course in deck C and D I will start changing the effects. You guys could see it right now in deck C, changing effects, changing effects, changing effects. Likewise in deck D. But if I don't press my modifier, it just controls the amount of percentage of dry and wet, or the effect itself of how much you want it to go. Same thing with A and B. If you want to change your effects in A and B, you press the shift button, you start pressing the button of which effects unit that you want, and then you can start doing your thing. This is a custom mapping from Traktor. It comes with your hardware, and it's amazing. It is, I mean, basically completely done and custom. It's a beautiful mapping. So next things that I will show you will be in my effects units on and off. and my hot cues, as I previously mentioned. Of course, you want to have your on and off buttons. You don't want to leave them on at all times. So for deck A and B, you got on and off, on, off. And for deck C and D, again, I will press my modifier and I will start. This will be my deck C, deck D, and this will be my deck C. So you guys could see it on the screen. We're gonna start with this one, on, and deck C, on. And of course, you guys should control your gains and all that. We're gonna go back in here. Next thing, oh, the hot cues. I have set my hot cues to be done in my controller for my track C and D only, as I have this already in my Kontrol X1, and I like it like that. So to go ahead, I showed you my cues. So I went a little bit unorthodox here, kind of like DJ Shifty. I guess I follow him a lot. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of deck C, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for deck D. We're gonna go ahead and keep on going. The load deck common track, of course, I showed you, which is number 1, and boom for deck A. Actually, let me go back. There you go. So we're gonna go and select the track. I guess I have the same track, so I gotta select another track. There you go, selected, and there you go, selected. You guys could see it in the screen right here. The volumes adjust. This works when you are spinning internally. There's a lot of times when I'm spinning out of the country where they don't have the right equipment, so you just have to work with your MIDI controllers, which is amazing because I love it. But I had set this faders to be my volume faders. So you guys could see it over here. That's for deck 2, for deck 4, for deck 3, and for deck 1. This one is giving me a little bit of problems. It's got its own brain into it. I don't even move it, but it goes down. But it's amazing still. I could control this like no other. And we're gonna keep on going. As I showed you previously, I go back into my other page inside of the trigger finger, and this works in selecting out the cues that I want. And the reason why sometimes you want to select it out is because it allows you to do multiple, it allows you to do drumming in your pad as fast as you want, compared to the sync button, which it gives you the syncing time where that the other decks are synced onto. So if I want it out, I go back here, and actually let me go back into number 4, it'll be easier. We go back here, and then I also could select before I lose my one. So you guys see? So we go back into that. The next thing that I am going to show you guys, it is the low kills that I did. When doing longer sets and when transitioning music, you want to make sure that the song that is entering your set, it has kill lows. So like that, the transitioning of the drop, the transitioning of the kicks are not colliding. It is a very clean, smooth transition. So what I did is that I created, again with my modifiers, a form of killing all my lows in all my 4 tracks. So over here, I press modifier number 1, I kill number 1, I kill number 2, I kill number 3, and I kill number 4. And the same thing, I could turn them back on. So that is one of the things that I use a lot in all my performances, and it is definitely something that you should definitely be aware about. When I transition as well, I like to do loops, I like to do records, not only in the looper in the actual deck, but also with the looper, with the loop record. So I have created a way into doing this. Let's go ahead and let's say I am playing that song.
Before I lose my temper, or else
I will record this.
You're gonna die here.
You're kidding. You're the dumbest person that I've ever met.
There you go. I am recording
You're gonna
it.
die here.
You're kidding.
And I could even
You're the
stop this
dumbest person that I've
again,
ever
and I will
met.
keep on going. How I control my dry and
You're the
wet
dumbest
is
person
that
that
I
I've ever
press
met.
number 1, of course,
You're kidding.
and
You're the
after
dumbest
here.
person that I've ever met.
So I have nothing playing in there, but you guys could
You're
see
kidding.
still
You're the dumbest person
that
I've
there
ever met.
is a recording. If I want to delete that recording,
You're the dumbest
I
person
press
that I've ever
pad
met.
1 and 2,
You're gonna die here.
and boom, the same button that allows me to record it. So that is something that I use a lot in a lot of my transitions. Of course, I add some effects of the song that is already playing or whatnot. The cues monitors, that is something that I like to do. When I record, I like to only record one sample or one shot or voices or voiceovers or whatever of one deck. So I set my cue, I set my recording to cue, not to main, and as long as this cue button is on, it will record. So I go back into here and I could turn all of them off. So I don't have to physically go into my computer and start clicking because that wastes a lot of time in my hands. So I just go ahead. Let's say I am in my other track. I go here, boom, 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 boom. There you go. So you guys could see it. There you go. They're on, up, etc. So let's turn them all off for right now. I'm gonna go back into my previous page, and of course, something that helps me out a lot is that I like to see my music. I like to see what I have. So I have created this button to be a toggle in between my actual decks and the actual songs that I have. So again, I press it, I go back into my decks, I press it, I go back into what I have. I use my X1 to select my music or to actually go through my music up and down, but then I use these buttons to go ahead and load my music. So again, load it. Actually, let's go like that. Load it and load it and load it. So guys, this was a quick video in how I created my custom mapping to work along the Kontrol X1. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys have any questions, please write down. And if anything, just go ahead and go to nativeinstruments.com. They will help you out. They have all sorts of information. Have a good one, guys.